national upheavals. And to you, we offer our thanks, sparing us from the devastating hurricanes and storms that passed our way, yet we were spared the devastations. And so we wanted to thank you this evening. Thank you for the gathering and those who are here and those who will join us later. We pray for our Prime Minister and his cabinet. You'll continue to guide them, for our Minister of Justice and the team that he leads at the ministry, and the work that they're doing to make our country a better place to live, to do business, work, and to raise our families. Continue to guide us, and we ask for direction for our proceeding this evening. Grant this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much. Madam Pace, with your permission, I don't see much puppy in the room. Can I ask that all those who are in the room will start wearing a puppy from October to November and make a gentle contribution? Thank you very much.
Okay, very well with that public announcement. All right. As I indicated earlier on, Minister Vaz has another pressing commitment, but he has graciously agreed to join us to bring his address us for a few minutes before he has to rush off. So, Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy, and Technology. Minister, I'm going to turn over to you now, so you may go ahead and address our gathering.
Thank you very much. Can you just tell me if you're hearing me okay?
Yes, so we're hearing you clearly this side.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Colleague Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Grace Ann Stuart McFarlane, of course, custodies, all custodies, the staff of the Ministry of Justice, the president of each JP Parish Association, Justices of the Peace, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today we take another bold step towards a technology-enabled Jamaican society that is secure, cohesive, and just, with the launch of the Government of Jamaica assigned email accounts for the Justices of the Peace, JPs. I must applaud Minister Chuck and his team for the significant work that has been done to incorporate more technology in the provision of justice services for a more effective justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, our goal as a country is to become a digital society by 2030. Underpinning the creation of this digital society are the considerations related to digital rights and responsibilities, digital privacy and security, digital access, and digital commerce. Since the onset of the pandemic, I've taken note of the wide-ranging use of technology in the justice system to facilitate access and quality services to our clients. This email system is directly aligned with our effort to facilitate digital access and inclusion for a better Jamaica. I'm also proud of the partnership between the ministry, Guy Lee, and the Ministry of Justice, which has resulted in the provision of internet connectivity to almost all parish courts through our national broadband initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, in a country like Justice of the Peace provides services from certifying documents to legal representation, creating more avenues through which citizens can readily access these services, make for improved and effective governance. I'm particularly drawn to the features of this email system, which not only facilitate access, but possess enhanced security measures as well. These accounts have a 1 gigabyte storage limit with a multi-factor authentication, password, safeguards, and protection, with mail. They will serve as official means of communication and ensure greater connectivity among justices through visibility of other JPs' email addresses and distribution lists for all JPs regardless of parish zones. Ladies and gentlemen, the thrust to reform and modernize justice systems and services is not just a local but a global imperative. Our citizens are becoming more litigious, And with ever increasing incidents of crime and conflict, technology will be vital to ensuring that the scales of justice remain balanced for all. PricewaterhouseCoopers posits that in today's world, justice systems need to become more citizen centric, ensuring access for all in a quickly evolving world of pervasive inequality and declining trust in institutions. The inclusion of technology into the Jamaican justice system further enhances the streamlining and digitalizing of services of government for effective government, transparency, and accountability, essential pillars for our advancement as a society. The ease and convenience through which citizens can access government services all also engenders greater trust, which strengthens the very foundations on which our democracy was built. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move further into the digital age, this email system is another modern approach to bringing the services of the government closer to our citizens. I know that this system will revolutionize the work of the justices as they serve their communities with fairness, diligence, and professionalism. So today is a great day for both my ministry and the Ministry of Justice, what we call join up government. I wish for you a successful event and thank you for allowing me to participate in my next upcoming event at 6:30. Thank you very much.
Taking the time to be with us, and of course, for recognizing the efforts of our ministry in furthering the work of the digital space and bringing others along with us, other citizens of the country. Thank you again, sir, and have a good evening. All right.
Yes, can I go ahead and
I'm
just
going to invite our own minister Chuck to just speak at this time to make his remarks.
yes, thank you very much, PS, and to the staff at the Ministry of Justice. I take the opportunity right away to thank Minister Vaz. I am aware that MSTEM, the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Energy, they're doing an outstanding job in getting broadband right across Jamaica. And GPs should note that with the recent agreement between Minister Vaz and Elon Musk, we are likely to start having internet services right across Jamaica because the satellite link with Elon Musk will ensure that internet can be received in every nook and cranny of Jamaica. And I want to share and endorse what Minister Vaz said, that all Jamaicans, and I especially encourage Justice of the Peace, we must buy into the digital age because we cannot allow ourselves to be left behind. Now, I'm aware that many Justices of the Peace have emails addresses already, and some persons may wonder, why are we giving them another email? In truth, the more means of communications we have, the better. But more importantly, we feel that with the email address, if GPs use this email, then citizens, the Ministry of Justice, the custodies, and other GPs will be better able to communicate with you within the Justice of the Peace area group. And that is why we thought it's so very important that all GPs should be easily accessible by one email address that everyone will know. That means that you may have 2 or 3 email addresses, but we urge you, GP, and all GPs to really sign up on the GP emails so that the Ministry of Justice, the custodies, citizens of the country can easily know how to get in touch with you. I'm going to encourage not only those who have joined us this evening, but other GPs hopefully will log on. And as you will see, it will be very easy to contact one another because we are using just the first and last name in order to be the means of getting in touch with one another. I won't be long because the evening will be to the IT section and to the members of my team at the Ministry of Justice to really highlight how you use this email address. And I want to thank all of you who have joined and ask you to please pass the message on to the others. I want to thank the custodians who have joined and who will utilize whatever means to encourage other GPs to join and to link up on this email. So I hope you will enjoy the rest of the evening. I will be listening. I won't be participating much. I will only listen as the evening goes on. Thanks very much, PS.
Thank you, Minister. Okay, thank you, Minister, for those words to the JPs. Before Mrs. Beckford brings us an overview of the policy for the email accounts, I am now going to invite the Honorable Mrs. Marcia Bennett, Custos Rotolorum of St. Thomas, to bring greetings at this time.
Honorable Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck, KC MP, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology Darrell Vaz, Member of Parliament, our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Stuart McFarlane, and other members of staff, custodies, presidents of JP associations, my fellow justices. Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to be part and parcel of this new vehicle for connecting with our communities. And so we are all here to launch this very important communication tool for justices. This is indeed the age of technology, and we welcome this media, which will facilitate improvements in communication between justices and the people of Jamaica to reach places where some of us cannot go and link with the various organizations and communities we interact with. We live in a world that is constantly changing, and we must embrace the opportunities presented by the changing dynamics and not be afraid to utilize the tools that will help us to manage our time, save money, perform more efficiently, and propel the services we offer collectively. By posting and sharing, we can expand our range of service, and this is a creative way to make it work. Years ago, the tools we used for communication included the mail and the telegram through the postal services, telex, fax, television, radio from the telecommunication and broadcasting services. Later, the big computers, followed by our own personal computers, laptops, and our smartphones, enabling our access to real-time information with the origin of the internet and the evolution of the various browsers. Then came the onset of social media apps, and it is remarkable how our abilities to communicate real-time globally has changed. We send messages instantly through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Messenger, and WhatsApp, all networking our friends, colleagues, and families. Our young people could not survive without being connected to over 2 billion users. We thank the Minister Vaz, for the expansion of internet services across the public space in our parishes. As we extend our boundary, we are now assigned an email address, which will help us disseminate information. In order for us to use this new tool, we also must use a password for security and protection of confidential information. Let us seek to be informed about using this new tool well. thereby ensuring best practices in record keeping, dissemination of information quickly, support the building and strengthening of communication in the communities we serve, connect with the various communities and organizations that support our work. Using this tool to plan and coordinate our work in an organized manner. The goal is to grow both in quantity and quality in the way we connect using the internet. Friends, I encourage all justices to use this additional tool. Learn new skills, build your platform to move your services forward. I am aware many of you are already doing this. I encourage you to log on to the email services. We need to ensure that all are on board. My late friend Evelyn Matalon was in her late 90s when she sent me a letter by email. Treat it as your friend and it will make life much easier. So as we engage, I commend the Ministry of Justice for encouraging the growth of communication to serve its constituents better. We thank the team, we thank you, Minister, and we thank the PS and the team for the work that they have been doing. God bless you. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, Costas, and thank you for those words. And I hope that they will resonate with your colleagues and their constituents, your JPs. At this time, now, Mrs. Bedford, Acting Chief Technical Director, I'm going to invite you to address us on the, or give us an overview of the policy pertaining to the email accounts for the JPs.
Thank you, PS. Am I being heard?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, the Honorable Darrell Vaz. Custodies, presidents of the various Justice of the Peace Parish Associations, Permanent Secretary Mrs. Grace and Stuart McFarlane, Justices of the Peace, and my fellow MOJ team members. With the advent of the new Justice of the Peace Act in 2018, which expanded the jurisdiction of our JPs, the Ministry of Justice recognized the need to give additional support to the JPs to strengthen their capacity to carry out their duties under the Act. This led to a policy directive to establish a Government of Jamaica email account for each Justice of the Peace. With currently over 9,000 persons commissioned as Justices of the Peace, the Government of Jamaica email account is intended to strengthen the JP's capacity to manage communication. Communication regarding activities specific to JP functions, for citizens to access and communicate with them from anywhere in the island or from abroad, for the Ministry of Justice to communicate with the JPs on current developments, among other things, and for the JPs to communicate as a group. The Government of Jamaica email account for JPs approved naming convention is the first name of the JP dot last name at jp.gov.jm. And this is on the Outlook platform. Of course, we know that there are JPs with similar names. So if we have 2 or 3 justices of the peace with similar names, a similar name differentiation scheme has been developed to account for instances of these same names. So what is done is that a number is added to differentiate the email addresses of these justices of the peace with same names. In 2021, a series of consultative sensitizations were undertaken with our primary stakeholders, namely our custodies and our JPs, to secure buy-in and consensus which inform the implementation of this policy. Formal notification and implementation of this policy was sent on September 29, 2022 to our honorable custodies for publication to our JPs, with instructions for activation of their Government of Jamaica email account in the confidential advisory notice of activations to JPs. As you engage this policy and activate your email accounts for support and guidance and clarification, if should you need any, you may contact the office of the custos or the parish associations, or you may contact the Ministry of Justice. And of course, you could use our customer service number, which is 888-JUSTICE, or visit the ministry's website. But in any event, all the necessary provisions have been put in place to assist you if there are any difficulties with accessing or activating your email addresses. The ministry will continue to advance the digital transformation of the justice sector through the integration of modern and efficient technology in the administration of justice to improve access to justice. And whilst we are on this journey towards a first-class justice system, which will, as we hope and we think will happen, will balance rights with responsibilities. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for that update, CTD. And I trust that persons would have a better understanding now of how we got to this point with the email accounts. I know that this has been some time in coming. The minister for some time has been promoting the coming of the emails, and we are at the point where we are now ready to roll out to our valued justices of the peace to give you your own email accounts. Another means, as was said before by the other speakers, another way by which we are able to make contact with you and of course the persons in the communities that you serve. Okay, next I am going to invite Ms. Renee Alford, that's the Senior Director for the Justice Policy Analysis and Development Branch, to update us on the implementation date for the rollout of these email accounts.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary Stuart McFarlane. Minister of Justice, the Honorable Deborah Chuck, KC, MP. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, the Honorable Darrell Vaz, MP. Honorable Custodies Rotolorum, Permanent Secretary Stuart McFarlane, the President of each JP Association, Parish Association represented here, Justices of the Peace, colleagues of the Ministry of Justice. It is our distinct pleasure at the Ministry of Justice to present the Government of Jamaica's email account for JPs. Justices, we are inviting you to take note of the effective implementation date of the GOJ email account. It is October of 2022. And we acknowledge that there are some Justices of the Peace who have already completed the process and have activated their Government of Jamaica email accounts. We're encouraging the justices who have not yet done so to come on board and to take advantage of the automatic assignment and activation of your email account. So if you haven't done so, please, before the completion of the activation period, which is the end of November, November 30, 2022, we're encouraging each and every justice to go through the process and to actually activate their accounts. If you have not done so by the end of November, we are encouraging you to engage with your respective custodies for some guidance. The activation support for information purposes is first and foremost the Office of the Custos, and this is after the end of November. If you have not activated your account, the Parish Association, of which you're a member, the Ministry of Justice through our customer service section, you can call 888-JUSTICE, which is 587-8423, or you can visit the Ministry of Justice's website at www.mog.gov.jm. look at the GOJ email account for the JP's listing. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to present or to roll out the implementation of the Government of Jamaica's email address for Justices of the Peace.
Thank you, Ms. Oliphant. We are now at the point where I'm going to turn over to our IT technicians who will now demonstrate the rollout of the email account. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And as was said by Ms. Oliphant earlier on, should you have any difficulties in accessing your email, please ensure that you make contact with your custos, the custos in your parish or your parish association, and also, or the Ministry of Justice will be happy to assist you in logging on or into your email account. No, we had promised that this evening would have been a very brief one because we do not wish to take up too much of your time. So at this time, Custos Honorable Mrs. Norma Walters, Custos Rotolorum of St. Anne. I'm going to invite you at this time, Custos, to do the vote of thanks, please. Unmuted.
Okay, I'm on now.
Yes, hearing you now, Custos Walters. Yes, you're on.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, Master of Ceremonies, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Grace and Stuart McFarlane, always rename you, madam. The Honorable Delroy Chuck, our host Minister of Justice, the Honorable Darren Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Team Custodies, led by our senior custos, the Honorable Marcia Bennett, and the Honorable Bishop Pitkin, who said our grace. President, chairs, and executives of the JP's associations, the Mrs. Julia Moncrief Wigan of the Public Law Division, and other members of staff, including Ms. Renee Oliphant, all the other hardworking members of the Ministry of Justice, Justices of the Peace, all. On behalf of all of us who are here gathered on this platform, I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, at this launch of the email addresses for Justices of the Peace. Minister, we want to thank you in particular for the team that you have led in this initiative of the rollout of JP email addresses and for forging the partnership with the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. It just shows that when we work together, how much we can achieve. We are delighted to incorporate more technology for a more effective and justice system and to improve the 21st century governance process of our country as we buy into this digital age. This is an age that we cannot turn back. So we are happy that we have been set on the right trajectory to embrace all the systems that make us effective. Indeed, COVID-19 has shown that life is about ever-changing landscape of challenges and shifting dynamics. So we must lead organizations with traditional systems traditional systems such as those employed by the justices of the peace into the future with the expectation for success under all conditions. And as we continue to embrace the digitization and robotics, we have to understand how much life can go on with the guiding hand of our God and Savior, but without the human touch in many respects. We are learning that labor-saving programs such as emails are indeed the order of the day. And as the minister pointed out earlier, many of us do have these facilities. We bemoan the fact that sometimes our Wi-Fi are weak, but we want to thank the Honorable Minister Vaz for rolling out some more hotspots so we can catch up and we can effectively use our email addresses. Emails spell efficiency, real time, a trustworthy process, and usefulness. The trustworthy process is endorsed by the government who is giving us these email addresses. So they'll be equal almost to our seals in that they are unique to us. And as I said earlier, we should be able to use these labor-saving devices and expense processes to return some of the recommendations that we have to the persons who are requesting them in real time in a paperless way and without anybody questions exactly from whom the persons are coming. But these are finer details that we can work out, and we certainly ask our minister to intervene with some of these financial and other institutions to let them know the bona fide nature of our email addresses. We thank you, therefore, our ministry partners, for your continuous thrust for us to tackle today's challenges with tomorrow's vision. 2030 is not far, and we must embrace this era that will lead us into the next cycle of growth. You have spared no expenses to guarantee our relevance and our productivity. I would also like to thank our hardworking custodians who continue to motivate JPs to strive for excellence and to buy into the concept of lifelong learning and best practices. We thank you, JPs, who have taken time from your own busy schedule, as usual. Thanks also for your many engagements on the topic of emails and other aspects of your duties. And thank you for your recommendation for the tweaking and embracing of this technology. We thank you all, our ministry, friends, and colleagues for I know the hard work that has gone into this. And we know that together we shall achieve success. We look forward to working closely with you, and we would like to assure you that we will be here to ensure that this process will be a very useful, well-recognized, and dynamic and acceptable process. God bless you all. It's been my pleasure to have brought this vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Costas Walters, for your vote of thanks. And I just want to reemphasize what Costas just said, well, among other things that you would have said, that we're asking that your emails be treated almost like your seals. And there are some protocols that the ministry would have developed and would have been shared already or will be sharing as to how it is to be used, because your emails are connected to the government system. And so we need to be very prudent and careful about the materials that we send and receive, or the kind of communication that we send and receive in these emails that have been assigned to you. All right. Minister has asked. Minister?
No, I just want to say once again, PS, thanks to all who have joined, especially to Costas Walters and Costas Bennett and Costas Pitkin and other custodians who are with us, and to let everyone know that this is just the beginning. We're hoping that thousands of GPs will join, and in due course, we expect that all GPs will be a part of this particular email. So thanks to all the GPs who joined, those who did not understand, who we can repeat and will inform persons how they can log on and be a part of the process over the next few weeks or months. So thanks again to everyone for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Minister, for joining online as well. If there's anyone with any burning question, okay, you can send your questions in. And let me repeat for those who did not hear that for your registration, that Miss Oliphant would have spoken about, to ensure that you log in and access your email accounts. There is a cutoff time for registration and accessing. That does not mean that if you don't access it by that time, you won't ever have access to it, but you will need to make contact with your custodies or your custos in your parish, or the association executive of the executive in the association in the parish, or of course, we are here at the ministry to provide any assistance that you may need for the email. So it says so if you're having trouble setting up your email account, let me just repeat that. You may contact your custos, members of your JP association, or you may contact the Ministry of Justice at 888, that's 888 Justice, or 888-587-8423. All right. Or of course, you can always email us at customer.service@moj.gov.jm. You can always send in your questions there as well. Want to thank you again, one and all, who have taken the time to join us in this very brief launch and announcement of your emails. I want to also use this opportunity to thank, especially to my left, Mrs. Julia Moncrief Wigan, who really spearheaded and ensured the creation of the emails and the rollout. She has really, really championed the rollout of this effort. And we want to say that promise made, promise kept by the Minister of Justice. He did indicate to you, I know it has been some time in coming, but we're happy that we're at this point where we can say he has delivered. And Mrs. Wigan, thank you again for all the effort, both you, your team, and of course the management information systems unit. That's our IT division in the ministry. They all knocked heads together and worked so hard on making this a reality. Thank you again, one and all. Do have a good evening, and thank you for joining us. Take care.